So young Americans have been coming out in force and protests like the march on the Tennessee state capitol to demand gun control. And also at the polls in Wisconsin, it helped a Democrat-backed Milwaukee judge win the high-stakes Wisconsin Supreme Court race, ensuring liberals will take over majority control of the court for the first time in 15 years. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, with the fate of the state's abortion ban on the line, obviously here, but and this Democratic judge that we're talking about is a passionate supporter of reproductive rights. And apparently all this activity has the conservative media ringing the alarm bells and whistles here. I'll tell you that for sure here, Okay, we'll just pretend that never happened here, okay? And just like that, take a look at the clip. So what did you think of the clip here, So what was the clip here? So here's the actual clip we meant here.
We find out tonight that the Wisconsin Supreme Court flipped and became controlled by the Democrats. There was that one race that they thought might go to the Republican.
Right.
Republicans lost that. So the Republican Party has enormous challenges.
The left has really woken up to making sure that Gen Z gets out and vote. If you look at the vote and where it came from, especially in Wisconsin, at the University of Madison, for example, University of Wisconsin in Madison, it was staggering. The numbers are staggering, and that is going to happen all across the country.
Actually, it's happened all over, like even when Obama was running for office, and it's like, well, I mean, it's like just basically it's so much here because with the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, more than 1.8 million voters casted their votes in the more than any spring election, not coinciding with a presidential primary going back to at least the beginning of the millennium. We're talking 2000.
Right.
Yeah. And because that's the thing here we got to keep in mind. And it's also another thing that's interesting is that, like among Gen Zers who said they wanted more information ahead of voting, 36% said they would turn to the internet to get their information in terms of what news sources they get it from here, compared to 12% who say social media is the place for news sources. But you got to be mindful with social media. Fake news could come out at any moment here.
Right.
I mean, but what do you want to say about this?
Well, I think that Gen Z, they turn more to YouTube and to TikTok, Facebook, whereas baby boomers are not so into technology. Gen Z is taking over TikTok. They have millions of followers. They're generating income. They're just booming. They should be Gen Z boomers.
But didn't they start booming since the pandemic hit? Because that's when I first heard about TikTok here. Is during the pandemic when it hit here.
Right. I didn't know about TikTok before the pandemic.
Exactly. Neither did I.
The pandemic
None
made
of us did.
TikTok open up doors for so many of Gen Z's population.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing here, because it's like because it's also important in the future, because many Gen Z voters who are mainly females will have to keep this in mind of what is at risk here, because with where there's abortion on the line here, and it's like it could affect them of what lawmakers could do next with abortion if they ban it completely, because we're almost going on a year ever since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. Yeah. So I'm just curious, as a woman here for you,
right,
are you for or against abortion here? And what do you think of all this that's going on here?
Personally, I am for abortion, depending on the circumstances. I think that all women have the right to choose. It's our body, and we should make the decision on what to do. I don't think that any judge, man, or anybody in a high court should have the decision over our bodies. I just don't. Like, if I decide not to have any more children, that's my choice. I don't think a state or a Supreme Court should rule on that.
Right. No one should be the one in charge of judging people's bodies, of like how they look, because obviously at the end of the day, you are entitled to do whatever you want with your body.
Right.
No one should be in control of what to do with your body or at any circumstance, because they know better than that. And or otherwise, if they want to be controlling about how they should run their body, then that's just the definition of pro-life right there,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Because obviously you're being pro-choice and you're really being disrespectful to the women that are trying to get an abortion, that have gone through a dark past or
Right.
something like that. You know,
Right.
it's crazy that we're still trying to get this. I'm trying not to curse here because I almost said it here. We're still trying to get this together here. Okay.
Right.
Whew. That was close.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, because there's so much that's
It's a
going.
real sensitive subject.
Exactly.
You know, and taking away somebody's rights or freedom is just not. I don't think it's the American way.
It's not here, because many of us here are pro-choice.
Right.
There's a difference between the two, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again to educate everyone that is watching, because there's certain people that are still not understanding the difference between pro-life and pro-choice
pro-choice.
here, basically. Yeah, because pro-life is where you are against certain things, including abortion, and it should be the right for where the woman should do all the work while the man just sits back and relaxes and just plays video games all day, you know.
I don't agree.
Versus pro-choice, the man is supporting the woman and taking care of whatever it is that they have to do. It's like you're basically helping each other out here. So
Right.
there's the difference between the two. So that's the thing you all got to keep in mind here about it here, all right? Otherwise, we're in trouble. But just remember, Gen Z are the people born between 1997 and 2012 here, basically. And we're not even born in the 2010s through like 2025. The ones, because these are the ones that are about 0 to 42 years old. But millennials are born from 1981 to 1996, from where the ages between 27 and 42, which is somewhere around that age here, and as well as Gen Z, we're 11 to 26-year-olds. But also baby boomers, I'm finding, 1946 to 1964 are 59 to 77 years old, and the silent generation, whereas the people born 1928 to 1945 were 78 to 95 years old here. So we're talking like basically close to the centennial age here, so
Wow.
whatever.